Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society of Schenectady. I'm Jeff Lundy. Any pronoun works for me. I will be your worship associate today, assisting Reverend Karen Brammer, she, her pronouns, as she leads the service. Wherever you are on your journey of finding truth and meaning, whether you arrive joyous or with a heavy heart, we are grateful you have chosen to be here this morning.
I'm Reverend Karen Brammer, and I have two sisters and a brother who have children. And their children, their entire lives, have called me Aunt Karen. And now, at my advanced age, those children, those nieces and nephews, have their own children. And those children are too little to call me anything. They are babies. However, those babies have learned some sign language to be able to communicate with more than the unformed words and expressions that they have. And so I thought I would teach some of these signs and then share how the sign language has actually helped me get in touch with how I can feel all kinds of stuff and express something that's a little different from what's scrambling in me. So, an example. So, some of you may know sign language. If you do, oh, please feel free to correct me. I have no license. I have no certificate. I learned these because I need them, not because I'm good at it. So, one word is to eat. Yeah. And this is more. Depending on how hungry you are, you can be more enthusiastic. Eat more. Um, Another one is to be sad. That's sad, which makes so much sense. And this one's happy. I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy. And then there's angry. This one makes so much sense too. What I learned was that you make claws and you go, "Argh, this is anger. I am angry. And then, of course, I'm sorry. So I'm angry and I'm sorry. So the way this has been particularly helpful to me is because I'm a pretty passionate person and I get all kinds of feelings. And when I've, for instance, done something wrong, chokes me up to even think about doing something wrong. And somebody sees me doing something wrong and they tell me and that I owe them an apology, it's upsetting. I don't know if you find the same thing, but it can be hard to be told that you're wrong and that someone needs an apology from you. So the feeling I have is I might be I might be a little sorry, but the bigger feeling is that I'm embarrassed. I'm angry that they pointed it out. I'm maybe sad. Whatever those feelings are, they're making it a little hard for me to say I'm sorry. So I can apologize. I can say I'm sorry if I remember the sign for it. Help me. This is I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah. Did you see the little short of that fuse going short in my head? I can be upset and sincerely say, I am sorry, even though I'm still angry or I'm embarrassed or whatever other feelings are going on. So for me, especially when someone asks me, tells me I owe them apology and maybe they're angry, so it's even harder for me. I'm a little defensive. There's another one, which is being sad. There's an even stronger word for sad, and that is um, to grieve. And that is when my heart is broken. Now, I might need help with this. I think it's this. I'm sad. I'm grieving. I'm grieving. And to be able to grieve, sometimes my face can't do much more than grieve. but I can walk out into the woods and I can express gratitude. And this gratitude is bigger than thank you. I can grieve and have gratitude. And somehow that helps me. So our bodies and our minds and our emotions are big enough to contain all those things. And it's really hard to express all of them without the additional language of sign. And so thank you for um, walking through that with me. So I'll repeat that my use of sign language is far from expert. And if you see me use sign language that doesn't make sense to you or you know differently, I would be grateful for any gentle corrections you can provide. Hmm. 6 months ago, my brother lost his wife of 45 years to an accident caused by a reckless driver. I lost my sister of 45 years. I do my best to walk with my brother and siblings. I do my best to honor her vibrance. I do my best to honor their marriage and our sorrow and our outrage that the driver has shown no remorse and is not held accountable. So I do get stuck. So you can see why I have recently been updating my practice of braiding beauty, grief, and gratitude. Because grief looms large lately in my family and in the world. Beauty can comfort us in the midst of grief. And it is gratitude for that beauty, gratitude that lets beauty go deepest into my heart. And gratitude for that beauty that reminds me I'm connected to the source and sustenance of all life. Your congregational bond of union is beautiful. It shines a light on what's possible. As individual Unitarian Universalists and as UU congregations, our covenants with one another help us remember what it is we hope to be and what we intend to return to when we fall short of our hopes. We know it is difficult, if not impossible, to act always as if love is the spirit of the church. Difficult every moment to dwell together in peace and to grow in harmony when each of us experiences what Burton Carley describes as both joy beyond measure and trouble beyond imagining. How do we recalibrate, return to the spirit of our covenant and connection when we are rattled by such intense feelings? Mark Nepo is an author, teacher, and spiritual guide, which some of you may know. In his work, Book of Awakening, he makes vivid the connection between emotional turbulence and the depths of spirit on which turbulence can float. He writes that emotional and psychological turbulence is like the turbulence in the surface of the waves of the sea. The ocean below, the turbulence, is kin to the depth of spirit that each of us is connected to always. He writes, just as the depth and surface of the sea are inseparable, so too are the spirit and psychology of each human being. Nepo continues, we are never cut off from our spirit any more than the surface wave is cut off from the ocean floor. Fear of living comes when we place all our energy into the moment of the waves, into the turbulent moment of our psychology. And I would say anxiety can take hold when I place my focus on the turbulent waves of what's happening at the moment, and sometimes explosive disruption in relationship, when I'm snagged by the emotional turbulence of grief or anger or hopelessness, I need something to help me remember that I am not disconnected from the depth of the sea, the spirit of life. And sometimes it is prayer. And more often for me, it is beauty that gets me there. Even more so, it is gratitude and awe for that beauty that allows my heart to open to connection. I can stand before the ocean, but if I'm unable or unwilling to be affected by it, then its beauty shines without me entering. When that happens, I feel a bit like dry cardboard or isolated, maybe numb. But if I can express gratitude with my hands, to be grateful while my heart is broken or inflamed with anger. When acting with gratitude, the chances increase that beauty can enter to steady me. Gratitude can help connect me to the source and sustenance of all life so I can grow and change. Gratitude can help connect all of us to the source and sustenance of life, even in the midst of great disruption. That always happens. That always happens. When I grieve or am overwhelmed with violent currents of the day, I want to be by a tree or water or flowers. I know that's true for many of you here as well. In fact, take a moment to think of what you tend to seek out when you grieve or rage or feel numb. What supports you? What connects you or holds you? What's the beauty or you are most likely to allow into your heart when you feel turbulent? Now take a moment to be grateful to that source of connection you feel. If you're not sure yet what you can gravitate towards when the waves crash about you, be patient, please. Be patient with yourself. Be open to the question and follow whatever might surface as a hint of that connection for you when you need it most. There will always be waves of turbulence, personal, congregational, and global. The gift of beauty, wherever we can find it, and gratitude that allows beauty to enter in, seem to guide us through turbulence. If it helps you to think about it this way, perhaps beauty, grief, and gratitude braided together is a thread that we can hold to in order to plumb the depths. Now, it might not work visually, but I thought I'd bring some braided bread to help connect to that sense. All I could find was braided Danish. And if someone really likes Danish, would you make sure that ends up at coffee hour? Because I'll forget, I know I will. But the braiding, that activity of keeping separate these pieces that seem to be in opposition, grief and gratitude, beauty and grief, together, when they move together, when we move them together, when we hold them together, they seem to allow each to be uniquely itself and amplifying each other. Words again from Otto O'Connor. Beauty is not a distraction from the troubles of the world. We're not here to protect our hearts. Frederick Buechner said, "Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Don't be afraid. It's the terrible things, he continues, that put the beauty in sharp relief. Allow yourself to see that beauty, to find it, to create it amidst the reality of our world, to treasure its fleetingness and let it go. It's a way to survive. It's an act of rebellion to see this beauty around us. Ours is a faith community that steers us away from simplistic answers and calls us to the complexity of truth and wholeness, the entwined presence of beauty, grief, and gratitude, while not muting any of them, can make us whole if we can honor each together. I have hung paper cranes much like the ones you have in the front of your congregation. When my heart has been overcrowded, for me, the simple act of hanging a paper crane and making one if I could make one, but hanging a paper crane somewhere can be an act of gratitude and love that can help me move myself, open myself. That simple way of offering a prayer of thanks can help us move through. I know in this gathering there are dozens, many dozens of things you've done to connect you and reconnect you to love in the midst of turbulence. If you'd like, perhaps you can share some of those during coffee hour with one another. To live with conflicting truths, paradox. It is not simple. We have a culture that moves us inexorably towards simplicity and diametrically opposed and oversimplified truths. For us to find our way back to holding the paradoxical truths is work, and it is important work. Our faith calls us to grow into being more able to do that. As we learn to live with our turbulent feelings while expressing gratitude for all forms of beauty, we can grow our hearts and our capacity for paradox and for life. That's countercultural, and even, some would say, revolutionary. And may it be so for us all.